Planet Anime Kansas City. How we doing today, guys? Now, I know this is the first panel of Sunday, day 3, a little bit of a lighter crowd, but I know we can do better than that. So I'm going to ask you to do 2 things. Number 1, let's try that again. Ladies and gentlemen, are we having a good time so far? Alrighty, guys, since we are a small yet intimate, mighty gathering, I will ask you guys if you guys wouldn't mind just kind of condensing, scooting up. Don't be afraid to come closer if you guys would like. That way we can have, again, that's that intimate gathering. Folks, kicking off day 3 of a truly incredible event, we've got a truly special performer joining us on stage. So please help me welcome Grammy-nominated performer and one of the coolest guys in here. Please give a big round of applause to Gabe Kunda!
Hey, friends.
How's it going, man?
Pretty good. I cannot complain. It is Sunday. It's early. It took me a while to get out of bed today.
Did it really?
I was real nice and warm, and it's kind of a foggy vibe outside as well. It was kind of
like,
a
not quite Silent Hill level foggy,
oh,
but
right.
Just enough to have
Close
like
enough.
Almost, for lack of a better term, kind of those cottagecore vibes. You guys know what I'm talking
Exactly,
about?
exactly. So I was like, all right, either I get up or we just cancel for the day. But I wanted to be here, so I'm here.
So have you been to Kansas City before?
You know what? Last year was my first time. So
Okay.
my group King's Return, we did a concert at the Kaufman Center with a mezzo-soprano opera singer, Joyce DiDonato, and it was amazing, amazing. And so yeah, that was my first time, and we actually, I think we stayed in the Lowe's Hotel actually.
Oh,
that's why
really?
I was
Just like
it's
right
so
here.
familiar. It was like I've been here before.
Wait a minute, I've been here before.
Yes, and so we did that, and then didn't know, a year later I would be here. So kind of cool.
So you mentioned King's Return, and so I mentioned in the intro, Grammy nominated. So
Yeah.
talk to us a little bit about your career, because I know a lot of us are here for your career in anime and video games.
Sure.
But you are also a very prolific singer. So talk to us a little bit about King's Return and kind of your journey through singing.
Yeah, I like to explain what we do, kind of comparing it to another group that people love, Pentatonics.
Yes.
Yeah, they're actually from my hometown, and we're all buddies and everything. And so they do acapella. We do acapella as well. We're a 4-part band, and we just do all sorts of things from like pop music, jazz, R&B, soul, gospel, all sorts of things. And we have a little stairwell that we sing in, and we do a lot of covers and stuff. Right now, we're working on our K-pop Demon Hunter cover.
No.
Yes, yes, an exclusive. It's hard, but it's fun. And so we travel around the country and we perform and do all sorts of things. We just got done doing a performance with Stevie Wonder at the Hollywood Bowl,
Oh, wow.
which was for a Minnie Riperton tribute. It was amazing. 17,000 people in that room just staring at you and listening to your music. A lot of nerves, but it was
Sure.
it was great. So yeah, it's my group. We meet together once a week. We rehearse, and then we go out and do shows and stuff like that. So it's a fun gig.
So specifically for acapella, did you have a certain touch point with acapella?
Yeah.
That's why you decided to join or create an acapella group? Or is
Yeah.
that just something that kind of came to you guys to kind of specialize in?
I was a touch point for us was folks like Boyz II Men or
Okay.
Take 6 is another like really good 6-part group. The reason why it even happened was because I studied music education when I was in college, and I was going to go off and be a choir teacher. At the end of that degree, you have to do a senior recital.
Okay.
And at the end of that recital, which is about an hour long, you get to do like a special number. It can be anything from like string arrangements to horns or whatever. And I was like, I want to do an a cappella group. And so I got 3 of my friends together. And I was like, let's do the Beatles yesterday. And so we covered that. And then everybody was like, you guys should be an actual group. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So then that's how I kicked off. Yeah.
Not one to disappoint.
No, not at all.
Well, guys, this show is not just for you guys. You guys actually get to be a part of it. We're going to be having a floor mic located right over here. So if you guys want to at any point during this interview, just make your way over to that mic. We would love to hear from you guys. While they are thinking about a question or
Yeah.
just making their way over there, I wanted to talk about something a little bit different because we're going to get to the video games, we're going to get into the anime, but I wanted to talk about how you actually give back to your community.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about your nonprofit, Light Motive Foundation?
Yeah, so I've got a nonprofit Light Motif Foundation, and the whole premise of it is In music, there is a terminology called motif. So it's a small musical idea that gets reintroduced over and over again. And I feel like we are the light of the world, and that's our job. And so the light idea that gets repeated over and over again. And so I like to go to schools. I like to go to just different organizations and give to folks who are trying to lead a path that is maybe unconventional. Voice acting is one of those paths where it's just like, I use my voice to make a living. And it's like, huh? People don't really understand. Or just like other things, like maybe you're a cosplayer and that's your profession, or there are other paths that aren't traveled as much. And also they need funding to be able to, make happen. So I try my best to give to those types of things with the foundation, and we try to find those opportunities because there's not a lot of grants for stuff like being a voice actor or being, a musician. I mean, there's a lot more for music these days, but like even still, like the arts, I think still needs support from folks who are doing it professionally. And that's my job. I would just want to give back because people gave to me when I started on my road. And now I'm here. And so I'm like, how do I give back? All right, cool. People need money, to get things started, to get things, ideas going. And yeah, I want to give some light to those ideas.
That's amazing. And it's extra remarkable too, right? Because while it's gotten a lot better, especially recently with pop culture becoming so huge and like quote unquote nerddom not really being as much of a thing anymore, anime, video games, like being a lot more accepted. So it's kind of funny because even with that, having a job that is very art focused still has a little bit of that, I think, unfair, not necessarily stereotype, but like concerns from especially parents when their son or daughter or child wants to come out and say like, yeah, I would really like to be a professional artist or a professional singer, a professional voice actor, what have you. Like there is still that unfair concern that like, how are they going to be able to make a living?
100%.
How are they going to be able to get started? So to have a nonprofit like that actually covers that concern and actually can give them the confidence knowing they have that financial backing to pursue their dreams, that's remarkable.
Absolutely. And not every idea is going to be like the biggest idea in the world, but it's like if you don't, shoot for the stars, I mean, if you don't shoot for the moon, maybe you fall on a star or something like that. And so I'm always trying to no idea is stupid. Just go for it. See what happens. The worst you can do is nothing happens. And it's like, okay, cool, nothing happens. But if you try it and something successful comes out of it, not everybody's cheering for you. One of the things, like a lot of times, even in Africa, my parents are African.
Okay.
And so if you come from an African household or ethnic household, you know that they want you to go to school to be a lawyer, a doctor, and anything that's like outside of that, be a basketball player or something, or just like something that'll, that they can show their friends. Look at my son on TV. Look at it. So it's difficult to try to get those parents to understand that there are other routes that can be, just as rewarding. It doesn't always have to be monetary as well, but that's kind of, we're trying to change the narrative of that. And I think me being, son of immigrants and Congolese and everything, I think I try my best to be an example for other parents who are thinking the same way.
I love that. And if people either watching later on YouTube or here with us now wanted to contribute or be a part of it, how could they learn more information?
Yeah, so we are in the process of creating websites so people can be able to donate. As of right now, it's been just kind of self-funded, and I have conversations with other donors and stuff. But once we get that up, I'll put it up on my page. Follow me on Instagram and all the social media sites, and I will do a blast and showing, hey, we're ready for you to donate if you want to. Even if it's $1, that's great because it kind of helps the initiative. So yeah.
Perfect. So I'd like to kind of address one of the most exciting things that have happened to you recently, at least professionally.
Sure.
So a game came out.
Yes.
And I'm going to be honest with everybody here. I am not the biggest multiplayer fan. I acknowledge that it is very popular, and I want you all to know it is in no way because of like lack of quality or whatnot. I'll just be honest, it's because I suck at them.
Yeah.
All right? Overwatch looks great with its art and whatnot, and story, lore, etc. Suck at first-person shooters. GTA Online, people are mean to me, so why would I want to play it? But then something comes out that I thought one of two things was going to happen. Either A, it's a monumental success, everybody's huge on it, or it's going to be another soulless cash grab and it's going to fall apart in 6 months. That, of course, is Marvel Rivals, and we are happy to see that the prior was true. It is a monumental success, and you, semi-recently, were announced that you were going to be Blade.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about how you were notified, anything about the audition, and how it's been voicing such a titular character.
Well, first, I'm going to just jump off and say this is one of the greatest opportunities in my life to be able to voice the Blade. I mean, if y'all know, y'all know. Blade is really the reason why we have a Marvel universe, because the Blade movies have helped get Marvel out of a funk.
One of the early trailblazers to what we have
100%.
today.
So it was a lot riding on it, but I'll tell you how it started. So I got it's so interesting. I got an audition in May of 2024 from my agent for a game. They typically in these auditions they don't tell you what game you're auditioning for. You just see like a drawing of the character, and you're like, huh, that looks like a Marvel character, you know. And the thing about it was, I didn't have time to audition, so I didn't submit. And I just was like, okay, I can't submit for it. Unfortunately, it's okay. And then a month later, I have a manager who typically he does all of my movie trailers. So I voice movie trailers as well, and he only handles my movie trailer work.
Okay.
But on the some weird reason, a month later, he gets an audition for Marvel Rivals, again under code name. And he's like, "Hey, Gabe, I got this video game audition. If you're interested, just read for it." And I was like, "You don't typically get video game auditions, but okay, I'll audition." And I was like, "Wait a minute, this is Blade." I was like, "Okay, all right." And I started getting nerves. I was like, "Oh my God, this is big." Okay, so then I auditioned, and then a week later, I go to a convention, and somebody comes up to me and is like, "Hey, can I interview you?" I was like, "Sure." And he's like, "So if there's any Marvel character out in the universe, what would you like to play?" I was like, "Oh, my favorite would be Blade, but, you know, that probably won't happen." I mean, in my mind, I'm like, I auditioned for it last week, but that's not going to happen.
Oh, so at this point, it was not confirmed.
Not confirmed. Okay. And then a week later, there's San Diego Comic-Con, and they show the Marvel Rivals thing. There's a whole, like, you know, announcement for it. I was like, "Oh, that's nice. Oh, you know, maybe one day." And then the week after that, I get the call saying that they wanted to hire me as a voice of Blade. And my mind was just like brain matter all over the ground, because I was like, yo, I was been talking about this. And the crazy thing is, had I not auditioned with my manager, I would have missed the opportunity twice to do it. So I don't know how things work, the universe and all that stuff, and God and all that. It's just great. But the thing about it was, y'all, I got hired at the end of July of 2024. And for a year, now mind you, they said, "Oh, we're going to bring you in over the next few months to record." I didn't get brought in until July of 2025.
That's insane.
So the entire time, I'm thinking I got fired.
Or like maybe something fell through.
Something happened. And let me tell you another thing. So we get to February of 2025, and I'm like, dang, I got hired last year. How come I haven't come in to read yet? And they release a trailer. I don't know if you guys saw this. It was the Fantastic Four trailer. And at the end of that Fantastic Four trailer, they show a teaser of Blade growling. He's chained up. Now, mind you, on Black History Month. He's like kind of laughing.
I don't know who passed that.
Right. He's growling. And I'm like, I didn't record those growls.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
So I'm thinking.
Panic setting in.
I'm like, oh, they fired. They went with someone else. Fine. Yeah. Control, Alt, delete out of my mind. I'm no longer Blade. And we fast forward to July, and they're like, "No, we had things to do and this and that." Like, why would you tell me a year ago? Just don't tell me.
We had an intern do the growls.
Yeah, literally, that's what happened. They had a producer or somebody do the growls in place. And so anyway, I recorded it, and then a month later, Blade came out, and it was like, oh,
that's amazing.
Yes. So anyway, it was a really roller coaster of a
just like what an incredible opportunity, though. And also, like, granted, I'm sure there was some like legal stuff going on, or like some like, you know, corporate red tape that stopped it from doing any sooner than July of 2025. But like, to be chosen to voice such a legacy character, I mean, like, as you put it, the real reason that Marvel is now one of, if not the largest properties, rivaling Star Wars, but at its core would not have been possible without early trailblazers like Blade. 100%. To get such an opportunity. but then have to sweat it out like that for an entire year is just truly heartbreaking.
It was something. And I typically, when it comes to auditions and properties and stuff that I work on, if I audition for it, one of my mantras is like, you audition and forget it. Like you have, like sometimes I'll even delete the audition. If I'm really excited about it, I'll delete it so it never happened.
Sure.
Because it's a lot of times where you audition for things and you're like, oh my God, I would love to be a part of the show, and then they don't go with you, or they give you a call back. You come in and they look and they're like, you are amazing, we love you. And they go with somebody completely different. You don't know why and you don't know how or whatever. So it's typically, I always encourage people, like, once you send that audition, forget about it, because it didn't happen. You do your best work, and then you let the dice fall where they may.
Yeah, that's really good. So again, guys, just as a reminder, this show's not just for you guys. You guys get to be a part of it. We can start lining folks up behind the floor mic, and I believe we have at least a couple people. So first off, hello. What is your name? Hey, Alan, what's your question?
Yes, this is actually referring back to the foundation that you mentioned a bit
Ooh, perfect.
earlier. I didn't want to stutter a lot because I know I mentioned I do that. Oh, pardon me. Well, now it is on. So this is actually referring to the foundation that was mentioned earlier. That's what I wanted to ask about. How can young people find the resources to be able to access said grants or financial help or assistance or whatnot? You mentioned a website a bit earlier, and then what I did just now was just go on Google and just type in your name, foundation, and it wasn't the easiest thing to find, but I eventually found it. And so I just wanted your thoughts on that, because I think that's the thing that that's like a hurdle some people have to do, is just find it, know it exists,
Sure. It is a bit difficult because you're also there are a lot of like sometimes citywide they'll have like their websites, and they'll have all sorts of grants and foundation stuff, nonprofits on their websites, and you can look that way. For us, because we haven't like right now it's still private, and we're having conversations with other people directly, and we haven't launched it publicly just yet. So it's I'm doing a lot of like work, but that's why I said follow my social media and my Instagram or Twitter or whatever. The moment I put that out there, we're gonna start top of 2026. We'll do a blast and also do ads so people can be aware of it, and they can apply or send in, like, because I love to also read things. Send me like your story, like how did you get into what you're doing now, and why do you need help and all that things, and we can make a decision on our end on how much we can give. And so that's where we're at right now. Unfortunately, we do not have a place that we are in just yet, because we want to make sure we have a landing page for people to go to and see. So
wonderful. Thank you. That's all I got.
Thank you.
So in kind of expanding on that,
Yeah.
because nonprofits are not precarious necessarily, but there's a lot of legal things you need to make sure that you keep in mind, especially when you become a 501c3.
Yeah.
There's these, and from what I understand, based on what I've been hearing, you guys are still in very much the early frameworks where you want to make sure everything is set.
100%.
Because once you have that landing page and start searching for people to give this money to, there's a lot of legal stuff that goes into play that you need to make sure is all set up before you step with day one.
Yeah, and you also have people on boards, which I didn't know. I didn't realize you.
Oh, it's the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. You have people on boards who you talk to, who you kind of make decision-making stuff with. And it's just like, okay, so it's not just me making a decision on a thing. It's a group of people who you trust, who also are in the fields and things that you are trying to impact, who help kind of cultivate this thing. And so I'm always a person of like, I want to do it right. If I want to serve my community, the community that have helped support me, I don't want to just do something blasey.
For sure.
So I'm getting the word out and talking in places like this and interviews and stuff, so people can be aware of something's coming and where I can be able to give back. But I want to definitely do it right. So
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Hello. What's your name?
Jemiah.
Oh,
hello, Jemiah.
Hi. What's your question?
When you were a voice actor, was it hard to do the voices for your characters?
Was it hard to create the voices for my characters? It's yes and no. So when I first started out, yes, because I was trying to like figure out the voice first and then the acting later, and it's gonna be kind of hard to understand, but like a lot of times when you get into voice acting, or people say, hey, you have a cool voice, you should get in voice acting, people kind of sit in the front of the mirror. It's like, okay, how many voices can I do? Yeah. Like you're trying to find it, which is cool. But I think the story is so important. Like, what is the character description? You know, does he have long teeth? So if he has long teeth, it probably gets in the way of his talking. Like, those types of things are important to creating a character. And for a long time, I was just like, how big can I make my range and all of that stuff, which I think is difficult because there are people like, Yuri Lowenthal, who's here today, and all these folks who are really story heavy and they want to know, okay, so what's the character, where they come from, where are they going to, what do they need, and all of that stuff informs the creation of the voice, and the voice is kind of the afterthought, which is, again, another reason why I tell people, I was like, you can have a cool sounding voice, but if you don't know how to use it, I always give this example of like, I can have an amazing piano just sitting right here, cut from the best ivories and all of that stuff, but if I don't know how to play the notes, what does it matter?
That's a really good analogy.
If I had a guitar, what does it matter? It doesn't matter. I need to know how to play and make the melody sing. And so the melody is the acting part of it. So always trying to find the story is important for me. And then once I know the story, I'm like, okay, so now let's cultivate what this character feels like. Hope that helps.
Yeah, I did. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you for your question.
Great question.
Right. Hello, what is your name?
Donovan.
Hey, Donovan.
Hello, Donovan.
What's your question?
As a black man that's doing like voice acting and stuff like that, do you feel like it's harder to do like acting stuff, or like it's harder to get certain roles because you are like a black man versus all the other white characters type beat?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think more today it's a lot better. We still need more. I think because we're all kind of in this place where they're trying to cast appropriately. So if I'm an African American, I'm gonna play African American roles. If I'm white, I'm gonna play some white roles. If I'm, Hispanic, they're trying to do that. However, there aren't a lot of black characters, right? So then now my pool of places I can play in are much smaller, and so it can be kind of difficult in that regard. But especially in anime, it's hard because in anime even more so. There's not a lot of black characters, as you know, and so I do have more options of like they were like, okay, yeah, you can play this kind of character doesn't necessarily look like you, and you can bring your own spin on it, which is great. But it can be difficult in finding those opportunities. I would say in prelay animation, which is stuff that happens in the States, there is a lot more opportunities for people of color to play in, especially these days. So yeah, it's changing. It's changing, and I'm happy about it. But we still need more, I think. And not just for me, but for other folks who want to be voice actors and actors to be able to step into, so they're not just relegated to like a monster or thug number 3. Like it's just like God, that can be a bit discouraging. So yeah, we're working on it. It's getting better.
I appreciate you.
Absolutely, thank you. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Donovan.
Donovan.
Hello, what's your name?
Venus.
Hey, Venus, I love your Persona 5 cosplay.
Thank you.
What's your question, Venus?
So first I wanted to say that you're like a really big inspiration to me, especially being in a field where people who look like me aren't really dominated,
Wow.
It's really nice to just see people who look like me and enjoy the things that I do in spaces that I like to be. My question is, what advice would you have for someone who wants to get into voice acting, the field where we aren't really represented very well?
Yeah, I think I would always say making a big emphasis on the acting side of things. If you can take acting classes, and I'll even say, don't even worry about voice acting classes specifically, right? Because again, some of these voice acting classes can be they can major a lot on the sound of your voice and like you making the funny voices and stuff. And what you need to be able to do is create characters, living, breathing characters. And acting classes where you're using your whole body and you're using your face and all that stuff helps you get that baseline. And then once you get that baseline, then you're like, okay, I want to focus this acting into a microphone, right? Because it's one thing for you to see that I'm angry, but can you hear that I'm angry? Can you hear that translated into a microphone? And one of those things that voice acting classes can do is help narrow that. But from a baseline, let's get into acting classes first. Let's see how you can interpret story and scripts. Can you memorize? Can you do all of those things that help kind of bring some life to a story? And then from there, you go into voice acting. And the thing is, you don't want to give them an excuse. You want to be undeniable. That is a great actor, not just a great, voice actor or whatever the case. Like, you want to step into a space, get on the microphone, and like, yo, I believe every word that's coming out of her mouth, their mouth, whatever, right? So I would 100% try not to make such an emphasis on like, dang, like, especially if you're a person of color, you're black, oh, I'm black, so I don't even know if that's going to be room for me. No, there's room for you. And not only that, you make the room, right? You step into a space and you're like, I'm here. I have done my acting classes. I have my instincts. I've cultivated my gift, and I'm here to play. And it doesn't matter what you look like. Undeniable talent, undeniable gifts. It doesn't matter. They will hire you, and they're like, that's who we want. And then the byproduct of that is that you are African American, or that you are Hispanic, or that you are Asian. It doesn't matter, right? It's a byproduct of that. But make an emphasis on your gift and sharpening that sword. And when you come in, you start axing those monsters and stuff. They were like, yo, hire that person, And, the folks who don't want to hire you because of the way you look, they're going to hire you anyway, right? So let's make an emphasis on those who will.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So kind of expanding on Venus's question. So the vast majority of people that join us for these shows, of course, are here to meet their favorite celebrities or get that thing they've always wanted at the vendor hall, stuff like that.
Yeah.
However, we try to remain cognitive of the fact that there are at least some people either here in the audience or watching us after the fact on YouTube that are here to learn. That are here to learn from the experts about how to either A, pursue their dream of becoming the next actor, artist, musician, etc., or they're already at that point but want to know how they can improve their career. So my question to you on that is, rejection is present in any industry, in life in general. But in the entertainment industry, I would argue it's especially prevalent. So as a seasoned actor, what would you say to anybody, again, watching either later on YouTube or here right now, who are wanting to become actors or performers? How would you advise them to handle rejection once it inevitably comes?
Oh, it goes in phases, friends. Like, there are times where, and it's trying to be comfortable with those phases on how you process that. There are times where, like, I'll audition for something and I get rejected, and I'm like, yeah, it's okay. I say, no, I don't know. And then there are times where maybe it was a slow few months. Maybe it's, those down periods or whatever, where you're just like, I'm not really working a lot right now. And those rejections just hit that much harder. That's why I always emphasize, try to do something outside of the thing that you are passionate about getting into. Having other things, like I have King's Return, a group that I sing a part of and I love. We get rehearsals every week, and it takes up a lot of my brain space when I'm in it. So then when I come back to the thing that I've been rejected by or whatever that I'm constantly, like, I'm pouring into, I'm like, oh, this is fresh, this is new, and I can have something outside of that. I can, release that energy somewhere else. And so I always tell people, please, like, find other things outside of that passion that can keep you going and keep you distracted, if you will. And then so when those rejections come, you're like, it hurts, but I have other things going on. And it can inspire you to do, those other things can inspire you to pour into that passion in other ways. Versus, because I know there are other people who are just like, acting is all I'm doing, the entertainment is all I'm doing, and that's what I'm focused on. I don't care about anything else. And it's like, friend, when that rejection comes, which in our field, in voice acting, you don't get a no. You don't get a, hey, they didn't want you. You just get
crickets, silence.
Exactly. which hurts the most. But also, my wife, she's an opera singer. She actually gets rejection letters. She gets, we didn't want you. Thank you for your time. No, thank you. Which I feel like in some ways hurts more because you're actually seeing it in red ink or black ink or whatever. But for us, it's just like, well, I didn't hear anything. I guess they didn't want me. Or maybe they're still making a decision. Diablo 4 is a great example as a video game that I worked on. I auditioned for that in 2021, May. And a month went by, 2 months went by. A year went by. A year and a half went by. And then they were like, hey, so that audition you did in 2021, they'd like to hire you. I'm like, what? What the, you know, so you just don't know why there's rejection. So to labor on that is not, I think, a good use of your energy and time. Find other things that you do outside of that orbit and that you can kind of lean into. And so that when that rejection happens, yes, it hurts. Allow the space for it. I give myself 24 hours to lament over rejection. I'm going to sit inside and just watch Gilmore Girls and I don't know, whatever. I give myself that time because I need to process that. But once that 24 hours is up, all right, it's a new day. What's next? Let's find other avenues. And so that's how, you know, long story long, how I kind of navigate it.
And others have said that when you get rejected from these projects, it hurts, sure, because especially as an artist, you organically are giving your all to something. Art requires you to be vulnerable. But it's not necessarily because you suck or because you blew the audition. Sometimes people just have something in their minds that they're looking for, and it's just simply you weren't what they were looking for.
Exactly. Or you know, this has happened too. It's you against a celebrity.
Oh, didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and that celebrity now, if it's Chris Pratt, you ain't getting that. You know, potentially because they're thinking about box office, not necessarily performance. But not saying that Chris Pratt is not a good performer. Sure. I'm just saying, you know, if it's you don't know what's taken into account. These people are trying to get a movie or game or a anime or whatever thing made, and they're relying upon dollars and people showing up to make that thing made. And so, you know, you just don't know.
I just think it's the fact of the matter, like, again, like if you saw the next big blockbuster poster at your local movie theater and you saw either myself, Zach Wilson, or Chris Pratt, I mean, what's going to sell more tickets? If you say Zach Wilson, thank you, love you, but you're lying to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's really true. And we actors, voice actors specifically, we do get bummed out, and we get kind of like, dang, like they went with a celebrity again, you know, but a lot of times it is to get the property made, and you can tell that sometimes they'll kind of make spin-off shows off of those things, those projects or whatever, which they'll then come and hire us voice actors to come and do it because they don't have the budget to hire Chris Pratt to do 30 seasons of an animated series. You know, like they just don't have it. So it's, you know, you kind of, there are bright sides to different things, and yeah, it can be frustrating, but like, again, you don't know all the decision makings that go into a thing, and they're not going to tell you because they don't necessarily owe you that. You know, so you just kind of do your best work. You put it out there. All you can control is your work. That's what you can control. Put it out there and see what happens.
Hello, what's your name?
Hi guys, I'm John.
Hey, John.
Also, thank you for coming, by the way.
Absolutely.
But to bring back up King's Return, what's it like to perform with Stevie Wonder? Also, Zach, those shoes are fire.
Thanks, man. Oh my goodness.
They
80 bucks.
are. Wait.
Literally coolest shoes I have. So like, this is all he got.
I need it. I need it. Stevie Wonder. Oh, please. So prior to that Hollywood Bowl performance, Stevie Wonder saw a video of us singing in our stairwell on YouTube. If you look up King's Return, you'll see us. And we did a cover of Luther Vandross is So Amazing. He saw it. His daughter emails us. We don't know it's his daughter, Aisha. And she emails us. She doesn't put nothing in the subject line. It's just like, hi, I'm Stevie Wonder's daughter. He would like to speak with you. Now, if any of y'all saw that in your inbox, what would you do? Spam, delete, not happening. This can't be.
This guy across the world wants my credit card number.
Exactly. But I sent it to the group chat with my band, and I was like, do y'all see this? People are so weird. And then one of our members was like, what if? Let's entertain it. So we were like, sure. When do you want to talk? What's your number? And so she sends back her phone number, and she's like, yes, please give me a call. Again, we thought, you know, this is a joke, but I'm going to call anyway. I got all the guys on a phone call. It's like, you know, just get on the call. Let's see what it is. We call, and she's like, hi, this is Aisha Morris. Stevie loves you guys and would like to work with you and also potentially sign you guys. Still, we're just like.
So all I'll need from you is your social security number and your mother's maiden name.
We were waiting for it. It did not come. She was like, actually, give me 1 second. I'll get him on the phone now.
No.
do you guys have FaceTime? Why does Stevie Wonder need? Okay,
Yeah,
sure,
you know, that's
whatever.
Valid, that's valid.
Fine. So we get on FaceTime. Hey, boys. I'm like, is this boys? Stevie? Hey, you guys sound so good. You guys sound so good. You guys sound amazing. I love what you guys are doing on YouTube. Can I have y'all come to the studio? What?
Would have dropped the phone.
And this is we're seeing his face. Like, it's a whole thing. And we're like, when? Tomorrow. I need y'all here tomorrow. I need y'all here tomorrow. I need y'all here tomorrow. Now, I have sessions I got to do. My friend Jamal, he works, band member. He's a manager at an insurance firm and all that stuff. And one of them works in church. And so we have things that we're doing the next day. All of it canceled.
Oh, 100%.
All of it
100%.
canceled. Stevie,
Quit the job, whatever.
we will be there in 5 minutes. We're all in Dallas. He's in L.A. Not happening. So literally within 24 hours, we are hopping on a plane to go to Stevie Wonder's studio. We get there, and they pick you up in a black van, right? It's all tinted around the window, so you don't know where you are going. So we're just sitting there like, where are we going? Is this still real? And we go to, it's like a Chinatown. I won't blow up his spot, but we get to this place. The gate opens, and there's like a bust of Stevie Wonder just sitting there, and we're like, oh my God! We come driving in. We get off, and you're hearing his music coming through the speakers, and we're just like, oh my God! And then we get to the studio door. The door opens up, and it's just like smoke.
Oh my God.
Pyrotechnic lights and stuff. This is all in our minds, of course. And we walk in.
I was with it.
We walk in, and Stevie is sitting there, and his hand is out, waiting to shake our hands. And he's calling us by name. Hey, Gabe, how you doing? Hey, Jamal. I'm like, Stevie, are you really blind?
He just senses your guys' presence.
How are you doing? I'm really perplexed as to how he's able to just know us. And he's so kind. And we walk in. He's like, all right, let's get in the studio right now. And so we put our backpacks down, and we walk in the studio, and he is teaching us our voice parts for this song that he wants us to sing. And he's playing the parts on the piano. And we're in real time, never had to do this, having to learn this arrangement without any sort of, we don't know what the song sounds like. We're just learning our notes. And it's all a cappella, really intricate harmony. And we're like, nope, wrong note. And he has perfect pitch. So if you don't know what perfect pitch is like the ability to be able to pick out a note. If I play any note, you're able to say, oh, that's an A, that's an F, that's a C, that's an F sharp. Just laser sharp. And he's like in real time correcting us. And so we're just like, oh my God, we're singing for Stevie Wonder. Finally, we learn the song, we record it, and we're together for the entire day, a day and a half of just us singing together and just having a good time. And then like maybe months later, we're invited to the Hollywood Bowl by him and his crew to do a show together for mini representation. It was amazing. So anyway, all that to say, it was just phenomenal. And now we have his number. So I don't know.
Guys, come on.
Really cool. A blessing.
Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Kate.
Hey, Kate.
Hey, so obviously acting and voice acting has given you a great avenue to explore different characters, but my question is kind of two sides of the same coin. How has it made you a better person, and how has it given you a better understanding of yourself?
Ooh,
Kansas City came to play.
That is a good question. I think it's made me a better person in that I guess growing up I kind of felt like again, like you come up in an African household and it's like you have to do this one track. Like if you're not going to be a lawyer, you need to be a doctor. If you're not going to be that, you need that. And so I always felt I wasn't ever great in school. Like honestly, like I wasn't interested in like the books and math and all that stuff. I always struggled. And actually they had me on my my papers. They said that I had a disability in mathematics and written expression. So they were already telling me, it's like, dude, you're probably not going to do great in society and in the world, and so you're always going to need some help. And people, I don't know if I was misdiagnosed or what, but I was like hearing that as a kid. You're just like internalizing all that stuff, being like, oh,
It takes a blow to the confidence.
it really does. And but also this is weird because I'm really good at music and I'm really good at like acting in theater and stuff. So that's not, for some reason, it's not equating for me. So I really to this entertainment and arts and stuff because it was my way to express myself and to say, see, I'm not dumb, you know, and it's just proving myself that I can do this. And thank God for the arts, because it got me a full ride scholarship to a 4-year college that they told me I wasn't going to go to. Wow. They told me that I was not going to be able to do because of this, because of that. But the art and the gift of storytelling created a lane for myself. And so what I started to do, even when I got into those harder classes like reading, math, science, or whatever, when it came up, or college algebra, oh my God, I would put it through the lens of music or arts to be able to get my answers or whatever. Or that's how I got my way through, was through the arts. And it showed me, it's like, I can do this. I can put whatever I put my mind to, I use my gift to navigate me through that. And so I mean, it's showed me a lot about myself and what's inside of me, and not allowing the world and people who, you know, they want to see you in a certain way, in a certain thing. Get me out of that box, man. I can do more than this. And the thing about voice acting I love is, like, no one's judging me on my face. They're not judging me on the way I look or how tall I am or whatever. My on-screen counterparts, for them, a lot of it is how you look. And, you know, if you have how many followers or whatever. But for me, I just get to kind of get to a mic. You don't know what I look like, you know. Today I can sound like a monster. The next day I can sound like a cute kid, you know, whatever. And I can just share that range with people, and that love for storytelling, and it opens those doors. And so, yeah, I am more than, you know, meets the eye, is what I'll say.
Love it. Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you.
So kind of jumping off that point, I know we're kind of running close on time, so this might be our last question, but everybody, regardless of time frame or what, develops their why.
Yeah. Why
they decide to pursue a certain career, why they decide to go a different direction in life. Sometimes it's a little bit more blasé, like I do plumbing because I'm just good with my hands. Or it's something a little bit more significant, like I'm a veterinarian because growing up, when I felt like I had no one, I always had my dog with me. So pursuing acting is not something for the faint of heart. Like we touched on, it's full of rejection. It's full of opportunities where people are either telling you no or not telling you anything at all, and it's not like it's an easy pursuit either. So of all the things, as a truly capable person, that you could have done, why do you, and why do you continue to do so, acting and performing?
Yeah, I think because when I get up on the stage, or if I get up to a mic, I'm not judged for being silly and living out those dreams. I used to, when I was younger, well, honestly, up until I was like 18, I'll say, even 19, I had action figures, man, that I used to just create stories with. And it was just my own little bubble of just playing in my imagination. And like He-Man was fighting Sonic the Hedgehog. And it was just crazy, multiverse type of things. But that was my world where I wasn't judged for it. You're too old, or you know, you're a black kid, you ain't supposed to be playing with that, or whatever the case may be. I just had my own world, and the stage and the arts allow me to do that on a grander scale. And this time, if I'm on set, it's like I'm a different set. They're sewing into that imagination by creating set design and all that stuff, so that stuff can come real. And so for me, it's just a place where I feel safety there. Maybe not afterwards when I have to wait for the answer on whether I got the part, but in that moment, I feel like I can do whatever. It's like a superpower. And, you know, the great thing is I get to share that experience with all of you, and whatever you're watching or playing or whatever, you guys get to play that and believe that and suspend your imagination for a minute. It's like, come with me on this path of storytelling, and it can be healing for a lot of people. The amount of people that come to my table and say, I lost a friend, and watching this or playing this character reminded me of maybe my dad, or whatever the case may be, and it can become a balm for them. And I think that, to me, when I hear that, I'm like, I've done my job, and I want to continue going to impact people in that way. So that's my why, honestly, is the storytelling, the fun, but then the aftermath of hearing those stories of like, that touched me, you know, in a way that that you will never know unless I tell you.
and it's the significance of shows like these, because largely especially with the voice acting side of things, it's largely a little bit of an isolating experience, because usually you guys are in the booth, and of course you guys have the director or maybe the sound engineer, but outside of that, it is basically just you guys in a booth by yourself. So then to be able to come to shows and be able to see people dress up as your character, or come up to you and tell you those heart-wrenching but also so soul-fulfilling stories that you impacted them so deeply. I mean, I have to imagine. I mean, it's an experience unlike any other.
It is. It really is. And then you realize, oh, I have a duty here. This is very precious. What they share with me is very precious, and I want to make sure I uphold that. It's you don't want to also like. It's hard sometimes to carry that weight, because sometimes you carry all that weight and it just kind of like it can be dragging on you. And so it's making sure you're also pacing yourselves on all the things that you're hearing and how much you're taking on. But for me, it's like, oh, I have a responsibility and there are people counting on me. And that makes me feel like I got, I have, 3 younger brothers and stuff. But when I hear that stuff, of like, I feel like I have more brothers and sisters that I have to look out for. And my way of looking out for them is by my storytelling and being a part of that. And that makes the world just a little bit better. I'm not curing cancer. I'm not doing any of those things. But I'm bringing a little bit of light into somebody's day. Again, leitmotif, a little bit of light to folks' idea. But yeah, that's what I definitely can say. There's a responsibility that comes with it. And yes, you're playing a hero, maybe in a video game, but you're also playing a hero in real life.
And to your credit, that's basically art in its essence, right? Like art, unfortunately, does not cure cancer.
Right.
Art, unfortunately, does not feed the hungry. But what art does, it makes opportunities where we can go, we can engage, we can enjoy ourselves, and for either a brief moment, we get a distraction from the terrors of the world around us, or in our darkest moments, which, again, father passes away, going through a troubling time at work, art gives us an opportunity to have some things to latch onto. So when those dark moments inevitably come into our lives, there are still reasons that remind us it's still worth keeping on.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Did you guys have a good time? Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we part ways, I would like to encourage you guys to stand up. We are going to do a quick group selfie before we get out of here.
Selfie. Sure. Thank y'all for coming. I appreciate y'all. I really do. This was fun.
All right, if you guys just want to consolidate that we can get one big group photo. Now, while we make our way over there, what are we going to say on 3, guys? Cheez-Its. All right, Cheez-Its it is.
Yes, sir. Cheez-Its.
All righty, we're going to say Cheez-Its on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Cheez-Its. One more. Okay, Cheez-Its on 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Cheez-Its. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Gabe Kunda.